Every man walks with chains he cannot see. Not iron, not steel, but the silent, suffocating weight of other people's opinions. You wake up already bracing for their judgment. What will they say about how you look, how you speak, how you live? And so you move through life like a prisoner, shackled not by laws or walls, but by the gaze of strangers. This is the invisible slavery of our age. Men ruled not by kings, but by whispers. You obey the opinions of people who do not feed you, who will not bury you, who will forget you within weeks of your death. Seneca warned us, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality." Fear of criticism is nothing but a phantom, yet it paralyzes millions. But what if you could strip it away? What if their judgment, their laughter, their insults, all bounced off you like arrows against armor? Imagine walking into any room untouchable, unshaken, unmoved. That's what Stoicism teaches. Indifference as invincibility. The armor that no insult pierces. The shield that no opinion can bend. Finally, stop. Stop being ruled. Stop being small. Stop caring what they think. Picture this. You're standing in a crowded room. Maybe it's the office. Maybe it's a family gathering. You feel eyes on you, scanning, judging, dissecting every word, every movement. You say something, and immediately your mind betrays you. Did that sound stupid? Did they laugh? Are they looking down on me? I know this story because I've lived it. Years ago, I walked into every meeting with a silent war inside my chest. I wasn't focused on the work, the ideas, the mission. I was obsessed with the invisible jury I imagined around me. Every raised eyebrow felt like a dagger. Every silence felt like condemnation. I left rooms exhausted, not from the task itself, but from the weight of performing for approval I would never truly get. And it didn't end there. Online comments, social media, the constant comparison to others. It's a treadmill of judgment that never stops moving. You run, but you never arrive. Then, one day, I hit the wall. I realized I wasn't living for myself at all. I was living for shadows, the imagined thoughts of people who barely knew me. That S when I stumbled across the words of Marcus Aurelius. It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. That line shattered me, because it was true. I had built a life where strangers' whispers carried more weight than my own voice, and I knew something had to change. This is where Stoicism enters, not as theory, but as armor. A way to finally stop bleeding energy into the opinions of others and reclaim your life. Here's the brutal truth. Most people will spend their entire lives shackled by chains they can even see, the invisible opinions of others. Fear of judgment is a prison built inside the mind. And like all prisons, it steals freedom. The Stoics understood this with frightening clarity. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." Think about that. We hold our own lives dearer than anything, yet we hand over our self-worth to strangers, as if it's worthless. This is madness. Seneca was even more ruthless in his critique. He said, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality." What does that mean? It means the sting of judgment doesn't actually come from another person's words. It comes from our mind's echo chamber. We replay, reinterpret, and inflate their criticism until it becomes poison. But the source of the poison was never them. It was us. And Epictetus, the former slave turned philosopher, gave us the key. If anyone tells you that a certain person speaks ill of you, do not make excuses about what is said of you, but answer, "He was ignorant of my other faults, else he would not have mentioned these alone." That's not just humor, that's power. That's a man who has stripped the critic of all authority. Here's the principle. Judgment only has power if you agree to play the game. When you care too much about approval, you hand people a weapon, your self-worth, and beg them not to strike you with it. But indifference to judgment is armor. It doesn't mean you ignore all feedback. It means you filter it. Keep what sharpens you, Discard what enslaves you. This is the Stoic shield, an inner citadel that no insult, sneer, or whispered criticism can penetrate. When you live by your own reasoned principles, when your compass is internal, not external, you become untouchable. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Replace outside events with outside opinions, and the lesson is the same. They can gossip, they can mock, they can misunderstand you. But unless you surrender your peace, they cannot harm you. So here is the paradox. When you finally stop caring what others think, that's when people start respecting you most. Not because you chased it, but because indifference radiates strength, and strength commands respect. Stop caring what they think, or stay their prisoner. Those are your only two options. Judgment is everywhere, but whether it chains you or fuels you depends on the armor you build. Here are 5 uncompromising Stoic tactics to master it. 1. Embrace the silence test. Stop rushing to fill every space with words to prove yourself. Most people destroy their power by over-explaining, over-apologizing, over-justifying. Next time someone questions you, hold the silence for 3 seconds before responding. That pause creates gravity. The Stoics understood that restraint is strength. Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Silence radiates power. 2. Filter praise and criticism alike. Here's the trap. If you crave compliments, you'll also be crushed by insults. You've handed over the same leash. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "Receive without pride, let go without attachment." Do not let praise inflate you or criticism deflate you. Both are illusions. Keep your self-worth anchored in your principles, not their shifting winds. 3. Practice the insult reversal. When insulted, do not defend yourself. Instead, disarm the attack with indifference or humor. Epictetus's advice still cuts deep. If they call you lazy, laugh and add, "If only they knew the half of it." This flips the power dynamic. You show you are untouchable because their words do not pierce you. Weak men fight insults. Strong men turn them into smoke. 4. Write your code and obey it. If you don't live by your own code, you'll forever chase theirs. Write down the principles that matter most. Discipline, honor, courage, integrity. Then measure yourself by that code alone. Seneca warned, "He who seeks approval from all men will have no approval for himself." Judgment cannot rattle a man who is already judged and approved by his own inner tribunal. 5. Weaponize exposure. Stop avoiding criticism. Seek it out. Place yourself deliberately in situations where judgment is inevitable. Speak up in meetings. Share your work publicly. Face rejection. Each time you survive, the fear loses power. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is endurable, then endure it. Stop complaining." Exposure is training. The more fire you face, the thicker your armor becomes. The strategy is simple but brutal. Hold silence. Filter all feedback. Flip insults. Obey your code. Expose yourself to fire. Do this long enough, and one day you'll notice the shift. The whispers don't sting. The sneers don't move you. Their judgment bounces off the armor you've built. You no longer need their permission to exist. That is the Stoic citadel. Untouchable, indifferent, free. You've heard the voices all your life. You're not good enough. Who do you think you are? The sneers, the sideways glances, the judgments that cut deeper than knives. Most men crumble under them. They fold, apologize, and shrink their lives to fit the expectations of people who wouldn't bleed for them. But not you. Not anymore. Because now you see the truth. Judgment only has the power you hand to it. Words are air. Opinions are shadows. The Stoic armor is forged when you stop caring what they think. When you build your life on your own code, not their approval. Seneca said, "We are more often frightened than hurt," and it is true. Most of the pain you've felt came not from their words, but from your fear of their words. You were enslaved by phantoms, but chains of smoke can be broken. So here's the challenge. Step into indifference. The next time you're judged, do not defend yourself. Do not explain. Let the silence do the talking. When you walk through the fire untouched, you'll feel it. The freedom, the strength, the unshakable stillness of a man who owes nothing to the crowd. This is the path of the inner citadel, the place where you become untouchable. If this struck something in you, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, share it with someone who needs to break their chains, and join us by subscribing to Timeless Stoic Mind. Together, we're not chasing approval. We're building warriors who walk through judgment like it's dust in the wind. Stand tall, stay unshaken. Finally, stop.